Hello guys, and welcome to another MK Mobile character review today featuring Pharaoh Ermac. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate character, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let's put Pharaoh Ermac to the test. Pharaoh Ermac guys was released on the 6th of October 2016 for the price of 395 souls, and we should be expecting some outdated stats probably. So let's start with his attack. It is 53,251, which is the 19th highest in the game and the 4th highest among the gold characters. The hit points, they're 86,554, the 36th highest in the game and the 17th in the gold league. Not that good performance when it comes to hit points. The toughness, it is 38,745, the 26th highest overall and the 8th highest in the gold league. And the recovery is 39,690, the 22nd highest in MK Mobile and the 7th highest among the gold characters. The power generation is 110%. So in total, for his stats, Pharaoh Ermac gets 18 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Ermac guys is called Lost Souls, and even though it looks completely different than the other Ermac special one, it still can be blocked by the opponent. Also, this time we have Stun as debuff. The ability can be cast from distance, however one of the mini attacks will miss. It is little, it consists of 4 mini attacks and it has the single multi-tap circle as minigame, which in my opinion is the easiest minigame in MK Mobile. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the special attack is 17,572, which is the 26th highest in MK Mobile and the 8th in the Gold League. The maximum damage is 35,145, which is the 28th highest in the game and the 17th highest among the gold characters. Once again, the ability can be blocked by the opponent, it has Stun as debuff, it can be cast from distance, however one of the mini attacks will miss, it is little, it consists of 4 mini hits and it has the single multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his special one, Pharaoh Ermac gets 9.7 out of 13 possible points. For Sport, this is the name of special 2 of Pharaoh Ermac, and like his special one, again the enemy can block the entire damage, and this time we have Curse as debuff, which is not really the most useful debuff in the game, but it actually has some synergy with the passive of Pharaoh Ermac. And when it comes to casting this special attack from distance, it really behaves strange guys. First of all, the camera angles are pretty cool and the fact that Ermac teleports next to the victim is also great, but apart from that, if you cast it from mid or long range, only one of the mini attacks will ever hit the opponent, which is very unfortunate. So I'll be giving it some points there, but please guys, don't cast this special attack from distance. You have to be close to the opponent in order to deal the maximum amount of damage. Special 2 of Ermac is little, it consists of 6 mini attacks and it has the horizontal or vertical swipe as minigame. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 47,446, which is the 13th highest in the game, and attention, the highest among the gold characters. Honestly, I didn't expect that. The maximum damage is 91,378, the 19th highest in the game and the 3rd highest in the gold league. So very good performance in terms of damage. Once again, let's repeat the properties of the ability. It can be blocked by the opponent, it has Curse as debuff, it can be cast from distance but only one of the mini hits will connect, it is little, it consists of 6 mini hits and has the horizontal or vertical swipe as minigame. So for his special 2, Pharaoh Ermac scores 9.3 out of 19 possible points. The X-ray of Pharaoh Ermac is called We Are Many. Good news here is that you shouldn't worry about the distance between you and the enemy. When you cast your X-ray, it will connect even at long range, and in addition it has shield as buff, which is incredible because, as you know, the shield will be applied not only to Ermac but to every single character in your team. When it comes to damage, The damage of the X-Ray is 107,194, which is the 30th highest in the game and the 8th highest among the GOAT League. Once again, the X-Ray has shield as buff and it can be cast from distance. Even at long range it will be okay. So for his X-Ray, Pharaoh Ermac gets 3.7 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets for his special attack adds up to 22.7 out of 36 possible. Oh boy, we got to the basic attacks. Quite honestly, Pharaoh Ermac is not the slowest characters in the game if you're talking just about the speed of his basic attacks, which is mediocre. However, he really needs some buffs for the chaining of his basic attacks, which is atrocious. Not only because of the fact that he doesn't push opponents back if they're blocking, but because the animation when he gets back to the original position after his basic combo is amazingly slow. It's actually one of the slowest in the game, and it always leaves him vulnerable for counterattack. And by the way, this is a problem not only for Pharaoh Ermac but for all Ermacs in the game. Really slow animation. So if you want to use him as your main damage dealer in the team, consider equipping him with block breaker equipment, guys. It is really important. So I'll be giving him 3 points for speed and 1.5 for chaining, for a total of 4.5 out of 10 for his basic attacks. Okay guys, this is my favorite part of this review because we got to Ermac's passive. It is called, by the way, Feast of Souls, and what it does, I quote, "For every character that is defeated and for each opponent that resurrects, your team takes less damage and gains increasing critical hit chance. Those effects stack." Okay, the problem here is that I don't know how to evaluate this passive because it is never set how much damage less your team takes and what is the percentage of critical hit chance that increases with each death of enemy character. And it is never set how many times those effects stack. Because if we take, let's say, 2% less damage after each death and we get 2% increased critical hit chance, I'll give this passive 2 points out of 20. But if we get, for example, 40%, if we take 40% less damage and we get 40% increased critical hit chance and those effects stack 2 times, I'll give this passive, let's say, 90 or 20 points. So how do we possibly evaluate this passive? Well, I had no other option but to test it myself. And what are you seeing now? So I'm fighting with my Ermac in the Shao Kahn's tower. And you can see at the moment the enemy Kenshi's special attacks are dealing 97, 193 and 289 damage, and special one of Possessed Kenshi is dealing about 2660 damage. And now I'm going to fast forward actually, because I killed one of the enemy characters and now I'm still taking damage from Kenshi. However, now I'm taking 78, 155 and 232 with the special attack dealing 2334, which is basically about 80% of the original basic attack damage, and about 87 to 88% of the original special attack damage. But this still isn't good enough. Let's check with another kill. We just killed the second member of the enemy team, and now take a look at this. Kenshi is now doing 58, 116 and 174, which equals to 60% of the original damage he was dealing to me with his basic attacks. Of course, when I say original, I mean without my passive being triggered even once. And so we can definitely conclude here, guys, that with each opponent killed, the basic attack damage reduction is 20%. So if we kill 2 opponents, Pharaoh Ermac will take 60% of the original damage, so it's like 40% less. However, when it comes to the special attacks, it is not that easy, because now the special attack of Possessed Kenshi is dealing 1931, which is about 72 to 73% of the original damage. It is really hard to determine exactly how much is the reduction when it comes to special attack damage, but I would say it is less than the basic attacks, probably about 15% per enemy's death. So with all that said, let us check how much is the critical hit chance reduction. So you see, I don't have any gear on those characters, so they should be never critting at all. And you can see that with one opponent down, the picture almost doesn't change. I got one critical hit chance so far, and by the way, I'm counting only the hits that aren't blocked. And with two opponents, the critical hit chance slightly increase, so I believe that the bonus you get for each opponent's death is roughly between 10 to 20%. So if you kill 2 enemies, the bonus will be between 20 and 40. If you kill 3 enemies, between 30 and 60. I cannot really say 100% because it is chance based. And this leads me to the last part of the passive. And it is about how many times those effects stack. We don't know that. So let's check it out. You know, I'm fighting this team again in the Shao Kahn's tower, and in the beginning the heavy weapon Jax is dealing 166, 331, 496 to my Ermac, and I want to check if he kills 2 of my Oshtex, if I kill the entire enemy team except for Jax, and if I let him kill all my team, this adds up to 6 stacks. I want to check with 6 stacks what is the damage. What is the damage that he will be dealing to me? Because if we keep reducing the damage by 20%, that means that at stack number 5 he won't be doing any damage to me, so I want to check that. What I did is I let Jax kill 2 of my Oshtex and I killed 2 of his teammates, so now he's dealing 34, 56, 100 to my Ermac, which is about 20% of the original damage he used to deal to me when there were no stacks triggered. Which means that definitely this passive can stack up to 4 times. And now, I did the impossible thing. I wasted about 15 minutes waiting for this Jax to kill the other 2 characters of my team, so in the end I have 6 stacks. And with 6 stacks, guys, Jax is dealing 17, 34 and 50, which adds up to 10% of the original damage. So I can definitely say that this passive cannot stack more than 5 times, and even the 5th stack is not complete. So definitely when it comes to basic attacks damage, the maximum reduction you can get is 90%, which is still great, to be honest. And actually I managed to record the difference in damage when it comes to Jax Special 1 on Dark Lord Kotokan before Jax killed 2 Oshtex and after. So in the beginning, without any stacks of my passive to be applied on Jax, he dealt 474, 474, 1336. After he killed 2 Oshtex, he did 95, 95, 789, which is 80% reduction of the first 2 mini hits and about 40% reduction on the 3rd mini hit. So I'm really puzzled when it comes to the special attacks, but I would say that at full 5 or let's say 6 stacks, you will have about 70 to 80% reduction of the special attack damage, which is incredible, quite honestly. So let's summarize. At 5 or 6 stacks you get up to 90% reduction of the basic attack damage, around 70% reduction of the special attack damage, and between 70 and 90% increase of the critical hit chance. I mean, tracking the critical hit chance was really hard, almost impossible, because after all it is chance based. So at the end of the day, guys, this passive is really cool. I like it, especially now when I actually know what it does, so I decided to give it 15.5. The only issue I have with this passive is that if you want to really build your team around Ermac's passive, basically this will mean that the battles will be really long, and I personally don't like that. And in my opinion, there are better characters that can give you bonuses straight away, so you don't need to kill anybody. For example, hell, I can put Demolition Sonya in my Spec Ops team and she'll give me 30% increase attack from minute 1. So that's my only thing that I dislike about the passive. Pharaoh Ermac is just an outworld character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay, so now we have to answer the question if Pharaoh Ermac a good character. And I know, guys, most of you think he isn't. He is not one of the most loved characters in MK Mobile, without any doubt. So let's take a look at the bigger picture. He has decent stats, good damage on the special attacks despite the fact that those special attacks can be blocked by the opponent, and his passive is useful. However, he has terrible basic attacks, and quite honestly, his passive will be very useful most of the cases only in long battles. And after all guys, most of us want fast and effective hard battles, right? Nobody wants to spend like 2 minutes per battle so that the passive of Pharaoh Ermac can be useful. So with all that said, I'll be giving just one of my 3 subjective points to Pharaoh Ermac. I really think he's a good character, however he has his drawbacks, and in general I really hate long battles. So with my 1 subjective points guys, he scores 62.7 out of 102, and we can label him as a good character. Final verdict, good character. Okay guys, we got to the gameplay. Now, if you're asking me whether Pharaoh Ermac is a good opener, I'll probably say no. However, in some cases, he can be a serviceable opener. I'm talking about those cases where he's an expendable character in your team. For example, every time when I play him in a team with Dark Lord Kotokan and Bone Shaper Shinnok, I always use him as an opener, because I really need him in my team for his passive. So if he dies, I'm fine with it. I really don't care about him. I just need his passive. So if you are in a similar situation, of course, you can use him as your opener. Even though he is not the best opener, he can be still serviceable. When it comes to the characters that he counters, I would say that he's pretty good against Slasher Jason and Unstoppable Jason. Reason being is that they resurrect, and every time when they do, your team gets stronger. And of course, he's really bad against MK11 Jade, Assassin Jade, because they can evade his special attacks and his basic attacks combination. Also, Ravenous Melina is a very tough matchup because she can tag in, stun him and insta-kill him. And of course, Pankasi and Triborg Sub-Zero are another 2 difficult opponents for the reason that they make him slow, and as you already know, his basic attacks are very bad already. When it comes to the items, if you're using Pharaoh Ermac as your opener, then give him Devastator, any hit points gear, and Syndos Ring. Those items will be okay for him. And if he is not your opener, then equip him with Rusty Chainsaw, because he really needs block breaker equipment. As an armor, give him either Earth Elemental Face Mask or Shao Kahn Helmet. As an accessory, of course, his Soul Medallion will be pretty good on him. Okay guys, we got to the teams. Now granted, you can build a lot of teams using Pharaoh Ermac, and of course you shouldn't really underestimate the power of the monk teams, because Pharaoh Ermac has very useful buff on his X-ray. Then he is a very real candidate for a monk team, so you can build a very nice X-ray monk team using Pharaoh Ermac. Also, you can team him up with Ravenous Melina and Deaded Kitana for the ultimate outworld team. This team feels really overpowered. Of course, in this team you have to use Ermac as your opener because he is very much expendable. And another team that you can build around him, this is a troll team, but it's still very fun. This is 3 Ermac team. You can use any Ermac that you have, it will be very nice. And of course, in my opinion, the ultimate Ermac team should be Bone Shaper Shinnok, Dark Lord Kotokan and Pharaoh Ermac. This team really kick ass. The only issue it has is that it takes a lot of time in order to finish a battle. So if you're okay wasting about a minute or 2 minutes per battle, then this is the perfect team for you. Bone Shaper Shinnok, Dark Lord Kotokan and Pharaoh Ermac. All you have to do is tag in Dark Lord Kotokan and let 2 Oshtex die. After that, your team will be really strong. Okay guys, Pharaoh Ermac, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, he scored 62.7 and we label him as a good character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen, and if you want to know which is the next on-demand review, you can find the list in the description of this video. See you in the next one guys, take care.
We overwhelm you. Perfect.